Welcome to this explainer. If you've been following migration policy news in Spain, you've probably heard some, chatter recently about a new document published in the BOE, the official state gazette. Today, we're going to cut through the noise and break down exactly what this document, the first addendum to the Ministry of the Interior and IOM Agreement, actually says. We're setting all the rumors aside and looking purely at the facts.
So let's just dive right into it. On July 22, 2026, Spain's Ministry of the Interior and the International Organization for Migration, that's the IOM, signed what is officially called a first addendum. This was promptly published right in the BOE. It's actually a direct update to a previous agreement they made back in November 2025.
All right, Section 1, the new IOM agreement.
So, what is this thing? Well, a first addendum in this context is strictly a funding instrument between the Spanish state and the IOM. It basically updates the project annex, specifically Annex B, it adjusts the payment amounts and schedule, and it outlines the procedure for notifying about project extensions within their already existing framework. The absolute crucial point here, this is not a new immigration law for individuals. It's literally just a financial and administrative update between a government and an international organization. Moving on to Section 2, where the funding goes.
The Ministry of the Interior has committed an exact total of €796,535 for these specific 2026 projects. Not a penny more, not a penny less, exactly as dictated by the BOE. And 100% of that €796,535 is cleanly sliced into just two specific projects. There's no hidden agenda, no mystery funds. Exactly 44% goes to assisted voluntary return, and the remaining 56% goes to a project called GFME's VI. Let's look at each of these one by one. The first slice of that pie is exactly €346,535.
The specific budget is allocated entirely for assisted voluntary return and reintegration from Morocco. In practice, this means the money goes to support migrants who are in a situation of special vulnerability and who are returning from Morocco back to their country of origin. The funds provide them with essential guidance and reintegration support to actually make that transition.
That leaves us with the second, slightly larger slice of the budget, which is precisely €450,000.
This €450,000 allocation funds a project known as GFMSVI, which stands for Integrated Border Management, and this runs from January to December of 2026. Now, this project really does two things. It funds on-the-ground support, which we'll get into in a second, but it also funds vital training for Spanish security forces. This training focuses on vulnerability assessment and profiling, making sure that procedures are completely aligned with the European Union Pact on Migration and Asylum.
Section 3, how it works in practice.
A huge chunk of this funding guarantees the actual physical presence of IOM cultural mediators. According to the document, these mediators will have a fixed, permanent presence at ports and temporary reception centers for foreigners, you might know them as CATES, in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, El Hierro, the Balearic Islands, and Almeria. Plus, depending on how arrivals evolve, there's a mobile team that can travel to other Canary Islands, Ceuta, Melilla, and other arrival zones. And the whole reason these mediators are there is to provide first-hand information directly to migrants who arrive irregularly by sea. To do this effectively, the mediators speak a pretty wide array of languages. They provide support in English, French, Arabic, Wolof, Bambara, Mandika, Dogon, Dula, and Pular. This ensures that people can actually understand the information being given to them in what is, let's face it, a highly stressful situation. To back up these mediators, the agreement also funds some very specific support tools. Migrants are provided with materials featuring QR codes and a 24-hour contact number to reach IOM cultural mediators whenever they need to. It's also worth noting here that while the IOM does conduct surveys with arriving migrants to better understand the situation, these surveys are strictly voluntary, completely anonymous, and they always require prior consent. Now, if you're watching this and you or someone you know is navigating the migration system, the immediate question popping into your head might be, wait, do I need to submit a formal application to access these IOM services? The answer is absolutely not. There is no formal application required for the migrant. The information and guidance are provided directly and automatically upon arrival at the ports or reception centers through those exact IOM mediators we just talked about. And for the voluntary return side of things, access simply runs through the IOM and their usual partner organizations. So there's no new bureaucratic hoop you have to jump through here.
Which brings us to Section 4, what this does not mean. We need to be super clear here. This addendum does not change your migration status. It does not grant you new asylum rights, and it does not alter your legal obligations if you arrived in Spain irregularly. Like we established at the very beginning, this is exclusively a document that funds IOM projects. It literally does not create any new individual rights for anyone. So the really crucial takeaway is this comparison right here. On one hand, we have the Addendum, which only funds IOM projects like those cultural mediators and the voluntary return programs from Morocco. On the other hand, we have international protection, or asylum. If you need to apply for international protection, that remains a completely separate, totally independent legal procedure. The funding agreement signed on July 22nd has absolutely zero bearing on the asylum process.
And that brings us to our final point for this explainer. What we've covered today is informational guidance to help you understand the news, but it is not legal advice. When it comes to your life and your legal status, please never rely on social media rumors or hearsay. Always check the official source, which here in Spain is the BOE. Understanding these documents directly empowers you to know exactly what is happening in migration policy and honestly, just as importantly, what isn't. So the next time you see a viral post claiming a new Spanish law changes everything for migrants, ask yourself, have they actually read the BOE, or are they just selling you a rumor?
That was a quick overview. On our website you'll find step-by-step guides to many procedures, the Padrón, the health card, the NIE, the TIE, legalization, and more. The link is in the description. And if you get stuck, message our Telegram bot. We'll walk you through for free, step by step.